exception of the COVID-shortened 2020 season. Some other milestones this year, of course, we're coming off the fourth straight Governor's Cup win. And for Coach Stoops, a couple of milestones this year. He did complete his 10th season, making him the longest tenured coach in Kentucky history. And, of course, early in the season broke the school record for wins by coach and has now upped that to 66 wins during his time at UK. And with that, we'll turn it over to Coach Stoops to talk about our Music City Bowl.
Thanks, Tony. If you'd like, you could continue to speak for a while because
I got more.
yeah, you got more? I'll go right ahead because no, not about the accolades. You can talk about players or team, but you guys are catching me in a vulnerable moment. I'm not gonna lie, my head has been spinning, and I'm not sure it's stopped just yet. So I've been running pretty hard. I actually just ran out of a meeting and come over here. So I'm very much for the first time I walked into this, but it's been 10 years, very, not one note and totally off the cuff today, so very unprepared. So you may catch me in a vulnerable moment, fire some questions at me. You may get a response that I don't normally give you, but I will say this, and I mentioned it briefly yesterday in a release. I'm very honored to play in the TransPerfect Music City Bowl. I know it was a great experience other than the outcome in 2017. I know it puts our fans in a pickle, and I'm very sorry about that. There's not a lot we can do about that. For ourselves and for our team, it's an honor to play in this game. Again, I think some people may like it or not like it, that we're repeat playing an Iowa team. But I know this, that'll be one heck of a football game once again. A team that is not going anywhere. They're always going to be there. They're going to fight you tooth and nail. Kirk Ferentz is steady as can be, the longest tenured coach in college football, if I'm not mistaken, and just a very quality program, and they have been for years. As you know, that's my alma mater, and so. But with that being said, it is what it is. But for us, it's an honor to play in that game. Again, the fact that our fans are a little bit torn. It worked in 17. I know the times were different, but once again, this year, I expect Rupp to be packed for the Louisville game, and I expect us to sell our allotment of tickets and have a quality group of people there as well. There's enough Kentucky fans to be able to spread it around and support both programs like you always do. So thank you to the BBN and look forward to it once again. What else did I want to touch on in the opening statement? I'm sure I'll get to it. But anyway, it's a busy time, a lot of good things. Excited about this game. As people discuss other options, the nice thing about this for us is the timing of it. Anything on the 31st or later is ideal. To play a game earlier than that is difficult sometimes with morale, as you know, in this day and age with players and timing. To ask them to get up Christmas morning and go to a practice may be a little tough right now. So, so anyway, this timing of this should work out well. Get us time to recruit. We've been on the recruiting trail. We're hitting the recruiting trail hard once again for the next 2 weeks. We will work in practices around that and prepare. And once again, our normal routine, it'll give us time to practice and prepare, give the players a little bit of a Christmas break, let them go home and see their families on Christmas, and then fly to the bowl site and pick up where we left off and get ready to go play a game. And again, try to continue to go represent our program the right way and go compete and fight and play a very good bowl game and try to win the thing. I'll open it up for questions.
Mark, where are you at on the offensive?
Iowa's right now having quarterback challenges. How much of an advantage do you think it will be for you guys if they don't overcome that?
I really don't even know. I have not had time to even read one thing on the Hawks. You know what I mean? So I know this doesn't matter who's playing behind center. Doesn't matter what the score is. Doesn't matter what's going on. It'll be a tough game. That's what I know. Go ahead, John.
Change. Can you talk us through why you wanted to make a change on offense, and where are you in the search for it?
Yeah, I mean, there's many reasons. There's many factors that go into it, as you can imagine. I'll be guarded in that out of respect that I have for Rich, and, all of our coaches, and, I think he's a very good football coach that's very bright, and sometimes things don't work out, and sometimes you need to make a change for a variety of reasons. Again, I don't want to throw one or two of those out there and have it grab a headline, but, obviously I felt the change was needed, or I would not have done it. And I'm very excited about where this could lead. I'm in the middle of talking to several people. I had a great conversation with a potential candidate yesterday. I'm going to meet with another one here this week. I've already spoken to several others, and so I feel like there's some very good options out there, and I'm not going to limit myself. And so we'll see where it goes, but I'm optimistic. I'm excited. I think even, each time this, position seems to open up, there's even more and more interest in the job, which is a good sign to me.
Is there a style you're looking for, or is it just the best person to fit that job?
Yeah, I think, there's definitely things to think about there. Yeah, I think, one of the things, again, without talking negatively about anybody, but I said it, I think post-game Louisville or one of these last press conferences we had, I definitely think, taking that long to spit out play calls and some of that terminology with the NFL scheme, I got to think about, because, running a play every 37, 38 seconds, I definitely want to look at that. Yes, I'm not interested in going that slow.
Mark, you mentioned last year when you hired Rich that you hired Liam the first time, you went by yourself, kind of just thought it over. Second time it was kind of a group thing. This time, is it one way or the other, or is it meet in the middle? How are you kind of handling that?
Yeah, no, I always take input and calls, and there's a lot of people out there with a lot of knowledge and people I respect, and fielding a lot of phone calls and vetting a lot of people. But no, I'll handle it pretty much, by myself for the most part.
But part of hiring Liam 2 years ago was the run game and how it suited your personnel. The personnel is different now, so how does that change?
It does. It does to some extent. I think, as I mentioned at that point in time, what were we? We were a very physical football team. It was thrown. Where were we falling short? Being able to, benefit off that with the play action game and the boot game and, play action pass game and all that. And we did. And then, for a variety of reasons, you have to adjust to the personnel that you have. And so, yes, it is a bit different right now. So, yes, I want, I think what everybody wants, and that's ultimately to score points. I still believe, and will, I don't know about always, but I mean, balance is important. Being physical is important. It's important to me. I think it's who we are. It's an identity, and I think it's important. But I also believe in getting the ball down the field and explosive plays, and that's something that I want to get better. I want to continue to improve, and I want to, create explosive plays. And is that tempo? Is that run pass? All that. You put it together, and you just you got to look at things and analyze things, and always try to adapt, and ultimately hire the best coach that fits us, and somebody that has that ability to adapt. Not just be one thing or another. So I think we have good pieces. I don't think we're as far off. I think that we got caught short in a couple spots this year, and I think we need to address that, and and get back to work, because we're not far off. As bad as it all felt maybe to all of us at times, and falling short of our goals, you're still a few plays away from winning two more, and so you gotta look at those things.
You're also people of when you want to make that hire, given how the transfer portal is and where the signing day is coming.
We're holding court in the transfer portal. I mean, I think there's no panic here. Is there? I think you got to be urgent. Have some urgency about you, but no panic. And I'm not going to rush things. It's vitally important that we hire the right guy. You have to get the right person. rather than rush just to get one player or to worry about that. We're staying steady in recruiting. I think we're gonna do well in the portal and I don't wanna panic there. I wanna get the right guy.
What are you looking for in your next running backs coach?
A lot of things. Obviously, a dynamic person, a person that can handle the room and coach his position. Once again, just like as I talk about players, I mean, that talent level has to be there. That's first and foremost. But then I think, personality matters. I think, bringing something else to it. Are you a dynamic recruiter? Do you bring something in special teams? There's several things that you could factor into it. And I have great candidates that I talk to. I don't know. I mean, you guys all seem to find out or whatever. You've been way off on some of this stuff though lately. I'll tell you this. You know what I mean? So everybody thinks they got it down, and sometimes you're way off. But no, I have a person in mind I'm going to hire that'll be coach running backs and special teams.
Mark, you've been here 10 years. Looking back to when you got here, when the program was, how ecstatic are you to see that it is what it is, and how surprised are you that you got it to this point? And being your tenure, the longest tenured coach here?
Yeah, I'm very appreciative. I've always said that. When you ask me those questions, you think about them. I don't spend any other time really thinking about that. I'm very appreciative to be here. And as I mentioned before, I think sometimes it feels like it's gone so fast and other times slow. Sometimes good years, bad years, weeks to week sometimes for us are so difficult, as you know. I think you've covered it enough that you see us that, it's a tough, hard, very strenuous season, and there's ups and downs. I think, grateful for the opportunity and constantly driven to just try to get better. That's really where the focus is, and that's what you really concentrate on. There's been so much to do, since the last time we were together, that, you really just don't seem to stop. I had to stop for one day. I had rotator cuff surgery, so that sucked. But that put me down for almost 24 hours, which was difficult. But I bounced back quick.
Mark, we all know how difficult the conference is. You tell us that all the time. How important is it to get coaches who are familiar with the SEC?
I don't think it's difficult. I mean, coaching is coaching. I think a lot of coaches, if they have some experience in the SEC, great. Otherwise, what Power 5 conferences were they in, and what's their experience, and what's again, what are they bringing? Are they proven to be a recruiter? Are they proven to bring some experience in special teams or other areas and big picture ideas? There's a different value for each and every coach. I mean, ultimately, we're trying to get the best coaches we can.
Mark, do you know who's going to call offensive plays in the bowl game?
I don't want to comment on that just yet. We'll work through that. It'll be a group effort. Obviously you got Woody up there, Scott Woodward. You got Vince, who's done it before, who'd be a big part of the leadership of that. But Woody is been a quarterback, been a receiver guy, and so he'll help a lot. More than likely will be active for the game will be Josh Esteswa, who's an analyst and been with me for a long time, that is overqualified for the position that he's in right now, and ready to be a quarterback coach and a play caller and things of that nature at somewhere. And so fortunate to have him. Mark Perry is a guy that has great experience and been around and very valuable to myself, and he's been active this past week with recruiting and being able to go to the state championship games and connecting with the state recruits and all that. So Mark is good to have active right now and be able to hit the pavement. He knows so many people in Kentucky, and so we have a plan to get to, I want to say 60 or 70 schools in the state. We already had that on the books, and Mark's already been out and we've been out, and so so I have some quality guys here.
Do you know who's going to be playing in the bowl?
No, I don't know exactly everybody that's going to play in the bowl. I mean, it's different. Last time we played, and I was so glad to do it, with the portal, and having guys play last year. This year, it's just different. It's harder. It's been around longer. And we're a little more familiar with it. And last year was a great success. But with this year, I think it's better for the players and better for us to go and take their visits and figure out where they're going. And and just so appreciative of just, if I could say it as a group with the guys that are in the portal. Just all great young men, very good football players that we've worked hard to try to help them. And it's not always a perfect or positive experience for everybody, but we work very hard for everybody. There's 110 players or whatever, 105 by the end of the year, whatever it is, and we care about each and every one of them, invest in each and every one of them, but they're not all going to get individually what they all want. And so that's where the portal's a good thing, and it may not be best for us in certain areas, but it's better for that young man, and so we support it and want to help him any way we can, and I really appreciate all of them.
When juggling the portal and in-home visits, official visits, do portal players kind of get a similar treatment to the high school kids? Is it a similar process?
It is. I think most, portal players, when they come in the next time, they're not interested in the bells and whistles. You know what I mean? It's more like get down to business. Where do I fit into your system? Where do you see me playing? And so I think that's where it's different. A lot of times, not always. There's more and more as we get into this longer. But the portal players that have come in before, like, I'm not interested. A lot of them are like, I'm not interested in all that. Like, yeah, fine, we'll eat some dinner, but I'm not interested in the bells and whistles. They're more interested in, let's watch the offense, let's watch the defense. Where am I fitting in? Where am I playing? And what the opportunities are.
Mark, you said that it was a revolving door of meetings, of players making decisions about their future. Are you expecting more decisions to come out soon? Do you still have to have more meetings? Where's everything?
I had meetings all morning. That's one of the reasons why I strategically made sure I was off the road on Monday, today, because it was the announcement date. There's 5, 6 players that you absolutely knew. We already had kind of those conversations, and you might have a wrap up with them and thank them and support them, and but you know those are coming, and there'll be several more that we know are coming, and then you just don't want to be surprised. And to this point, I haven't been surprised, so I hope it stays that way. And so, but I as I tell the players, and I think you can all relate to this, is when you're dealing with so many, there's some that I absolutely know are coming because I could just stand in front of the team. I could look out there, and as I talk to them every day, I know I read the eyes. Then there's others you don't know because we're not mind readers. And that's the thing with players, and it's so important with coaching and coaches these days and everything is that relationship piece and connecting with them and talking with them. And so we can get to know them as well as we can with such a big organization. And for me, that's still something that is hard, and I still have to pour into and want to more and more and more because that's always been important to me. And having that close personal relationship with 100 players and 50 people that work with you and everything else, it gets to be a lot. You know what I mean? And so I try to. I think that's extremely important, and that's why you have to have talented coaches with you.
Mark, is Will one of the players that you know whether he'll play or not in the bowl?
I do not know. Will and I spoke, as I mentioned the last time I was public with you guys, that he and I discussed it, and he was going to think about it, and he needed some time. I didn't want him to make a decision right then because I'm sure he was physically, emotionally, and definitely the biggest thing is physically. Just had some things to work through, and I wanted to see how his body responded, how he felt, with treatment, and see where he's at injury wise, and so we'll get together here. I would imagine real soon here, and he'll let me know, and I'm sure not long after that you all will know.
Whether he plays or not, can you just talk about what he meant to the program and how he helps you if you do try to get a quarterback out of the portal?
Well, he's a guy that, and once again, it's hard to describe what he's meant to this program because he's meant an awful lot. He came at a time when we desperately needed him, and he helped with, to your point earlier about the strengths and, who we were and everything. He helped kind of recreate that and attract some of these wide receivers and skill players, and, we certainly wanted to adapt and get better, at getting the ball down the field and passing and, throwing, building on the play action game and all that. But, and then his leadership, and as I mentioned to other transfers that come in, I mean, there's been quite a few, going back all the way to Courtney Love, with transfers that have come in that have been captains here. And Will coming in and being a two-time captain and having command of the locker room and command of this team in short order. That's not always easy, and that says a lot about him. And he did it in such a way that's very respectful. Again, he's not one of those people that's going to just come in and try to overpower you with words. And it's more about how he goes about his business, how hard he works, and how authentic he is, and how he does lay it on the line, and you could see it. If you can't see it, you're blind, and he's very unselfish. And so there's so many qualities that I could talk about for him and what he's done that it's, you could go on and on. So we absolutely appreciate everything that he's done and thank him for what he's done. And, he will be a guy one way or another, because if he doesn't play, it's really, he's not, he's got injuries. He's got things that he does got to get better, that he needs to get in order. And he'll be right there with us coaching. You know what I mean? So he's not going to just take off and go to California, Arizona, or Florida to train. He wants to be with his team, and he wants to help. So it tells you a lot about who he is.
When looking for a potential next Will Levis, the order of operations, do you look for a quarterback before you get a coordinator? Does a new coordinator play a role?
Let me handle that. Can I play that card once in 10 years? Just let me do my job. I ask everybody, seriously. I mean, I know everybody, it's important, and I appreciate the coverage and the interest and everything. I don't appreciate when people start speculating, throwing things out there and all that. You know what I mean? It's fine. It's part of the gig to, say it could be this guy, that guy, and that's fine. It's all fair game. But not when it's, and it hasn't, but, just, again, I want to do my job. And after 10 years, I don't feel any heat or pressure, if you will, you know what I mean, from any outside source, whether it be a recruit, a current player, a media member, a fan, the loudest person on Twitter. Does not affect me. I want to do what's right. Doesn't mean I'm perfect. I don't think I got it all figured out, but I need to do it the way I'm comfortable with and the way it's been successful for me. Let me get the best person I can at the right time. Let me continue to work through it. I could promise you I'm not, laying around. They zapped me up pretty good last Tuesday. Rotator cuffs, no fun. But I was back at work on Wednesday, so it was all right.
Mark on that. Yeah. Just mark on that. Not on the rotator cuff, but that's it's not the first time you've made a change. What have you learned over the years about making that decision and making that hire?
Yeah, I think, that's hard to say exactly, John. I think with everything, and I don't want to say this in any demeaning way towards any coach that's ever worked for me, but with anything in life, and whether it's the players, whether it's football, whether it's X's and O's and everything, there's going to be good and bad, and there's going to be, correct for you or not. It doesn't, again, I'm throwing no shade on anybody. I have the utmost respect for Rich and all the guys that have worked for me. But there's quite a few of them that I would hire back in a minute in a different situation. Most of them are all good people, good coaches. And so, I think you learn from, I guess what I'm trying to say is you learn from all situations. And that's a good question. I don't know if there's any one exact thing I could put my fingertip on, except other than, you got to trust your instincts, and you got to make sure you stay true to them, and, what's most important to you, you know what I mean? And in what I believe in this current environment. And, again, I've probably used that quote before, but I mean, General Patton, was on to something. We talked about morale. You know what I mean? Morale is important. It's really important for us, and to stay constant and to go through the grind that we go through, and mentally, physically. You have to have good, talented people that are not only very smart X's and O's, but they have to be very good with young men, and continue to let us develop them and let us bring them along. And that's like with the young players in our program. And, this portal thing, again, it's really good in a lot of ways. But what you have to guard against, and it's the same thing I would tell my boys, my kids, it's like, a lot of times it's like you can't worry about others, and sometimes it's like when you get a really good young player, then it's like, oh shit, I can't beat him. And but as I tell my own kids, I'm like, no. Through all the years, it's like you worry about you. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks it's slotted. This guy to this guy to this guy. No, you need to worry about yourself and being absolutely the best version, the best player, the best person you could be. And that's the truth. Sometimes it comes very fast to some kids, and sometimes it comes in time. We've all seen the guys making it in the NFL and making all this money and having great careers that it took them several years to get to that point. And then some people see instant success and think it has to be that way. And that gets hard and discouraging for young people. And I'm talking even my own kids and everything. And my message to my boys is you worry about you. I'll support you, I'll love you, I'll be there. If you wanted to transfer, I might consider that, but it would have to be some very good reasons, because they have to worry about grinding through. There's good and bad, there's obstacles, there's things that happen in life that you have to learn to grind through, and you have to learn to persevere through. And then there's other times when it don't, and you have to go and you have to move. And like we benefit from it, we've lost guys from it. I appreciate them all. I'm not here, I don't have the answer to it all, but I know you better really concentrate on yourself in your development and what you're doing and not worry about others.
Mark, what was your reaction to Scott Satterfield taking the Cincinnati job? Were you surprised?
I just somebody popped that to me this morning, and I was like, what? I didn't know, but I mean, I don't know him personally very well, so I wish him the best, and I know they were, a much better football team this year, and so I know he was doing some really good things, and it won't be too far away, so I'm sure we'll cross paths again. And I don't know everybody's situation or anything personally, so I don't want to comment other than I wish him the best, and with competing against them, we've had a good, healthy, competitive, rivalry in games. So.
If you're looking for a coordinator, have you looked at somebody who's already on the staff that's been successful, or are you looking for somebody who's currently out there looking to get somewhere?
You always consider people within your staff, but I don't have to talk to them or interview them. I know what they're capable of just after working with them side by side. So in this situation, I'm going outside. Yes.
Mark, putting the transfer portal out of the equation as well as Will, it's kind of a two-part question. One, what do you think of the guys you've got in your quarterback room right now? And two, how important are these bowl practices in your ongoing evaluation?
Yeah, I said that, again, the last press conference was, hey, congratulations, coach. How you doing, man? Look at that. Yeah, I'm with you. That's awesome. Keep it up. Yeah. But I said that the last time we got together, was that I felt like we had very good options on campus. And where we go from there, I don't know. And again, I tell our players this, so I'm not telling them anything they don't hear. I'm recruiting somebody to take their job, period. You know what I mean? I don't care how good they are. I love them, but I'm trying to get somebody better. You know what I mean? So that's no different. So don't take that out of context with quarterback. That's every player on our team. I'll tell them, I'm going to get somebody. Yeah, when I get on the plane later today, I'm going to find somebody to take your job. Trying, right? Well, I'm just saying you want the best players you can get. I'm very confident in the quarterbacks we have. I'm excited to see them, in this bowl prep. I hope Will plays, but if he doesn't, it'll open up an opportunity for others. And we'll see where it goes. And even players that are here and ones that maybe, are talking about their role next year, and I tell them the same thing. Like, this is your role. This is what we, if it's a player we believe in, I believe can be a starter and all those things, that's great. But I'm going on the road and I'm going to take the best players I can get.
Well,
how hard is it to prep for a bowl game when you don't know exactly who's going to be playing?
Not hard at all, because we have a lot to do right now with recruiting, and then we come back and we'll have just a couple light practices like next weekend. My normal schedule would be if I could think of this after all those years, but we'll have to recruit all this week. Normally pop back. We have light practice Friday and Saturday last year, had meetings on Sunday, and we hit the road again. And then we came back and practiced in some form or fashion Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of the next week. And then I gave them a Christmas a break for 3 days maybe or so, and then meet at the bowl site has been the normal schedule.
Our player that's been productive before has shown that he can be productive. However, maybe the right circumstances wasn't there for him this particular year to be productive. Can that player, what caused him to fall back, and can he reemerge?
He has to reemerge, Lonnie. I mean, you have to, and that's part, again, that's the life lessons, like, yeah, there are some players that come in that, like, some players that have left, like, yeah, I didn't ask to leave. And this is the first, I don't want to be demeaning to anybody. Like, there are some players that are like good, valuable players that could potentially develop into something really good, but they want to go somewhere and play right away because there's some talented guys maybe in front of them, and I get that. I support it, and I'm all for it. And then there's some youngsters that need to learn to, like, just worry about you, that tangent I just went on. Just concentrate on you. You have a lot of ability. It's there. We believe in you. Just keep on developing. So, yes, they absolutely could pull that out, but that's a big part mentally, and that goes to the point. That's the only thing about the portal that you have to guard against. Again, I could guard against it with my own children. It's like, don't think that you just walk out that door and go somewhere else and it's just that easy. You know what I mean? You still have to worry about yourself. And how many people in life just think, oh, just walk out, take a new job, walk out, hit the reset button, and boom, that's going to fix everything? No, that's not going to fix everything. And then other times it's very, very good, very important. Look at look at other scenarios that have happened, you know what I mean, with Burrow, with Will Levis, with guys where they get that opportunity and make the most of it, and it's good. So it's just hard to lump it all together. Craig's coming up here next. He could talk about his issues with it, but it's just different. It's a different world, but that's my advice to the youngsters. Yes, they could come out of it. They just need to reapply themselves. Again, they got to have talented people and coaches around that can pull that up out of them. That's how we built this program. And we can't let the portal stop that. You got to continue to develop guys and bring them along, and that's still the core of who you are.
Speaking of last question, referring to this particular program, kids not going in the portal, but in the program now that have been productive.
How many what, Lon?
I was implying about kids that are in the program now that haven't gone nowhere and not going nowhere.
That haven't gone. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's the core of, the guys that are on our program, in our program right now that are going to work, develop. And, again, how many times have we sat here and you've heard me before say you're going to talk about guys next year we haven't talked about this year. That's going to happen for sure.
Jeff, last question.
We've had the December signing period for a while now, a few years now, but you throw the portal into the mix now too for your busy month. Any thoughts on just how that all sets up, if there needs to be any tweak to?
I got enough to think about. You know what I mean? I don't want to give you a headline. Getting me burnt right now, you know what I mean? So I better just stop. I mean, it is what it is. I'm always like that. It is what it is. We're going to adapt, we're going to overcome, we're going to do the best we can, we're going to deal with it. And I don't have any big picture ideas right now. I'm going to let Coach Skinner come up here. He's talking to a national championship coach right here coming up to defending, so I'll let him talk. No, congratulations, Craig. Really, really, really good. Happy for you.
All right, folks, thank you very
All right,
much.
thanks. Yep.
Coach Skinner here momentarily.